Imagine trusting a fertility doctor to help you start a family, only to discover that the baby you're carrying isn't even your husband's, it's someone else's. But as Lucy uncovers the shocking truth, she begins to question everything. What will she do when she learns who's really behind the twisted plan? The movie begins with a shocking scene of a woman covered in blood, walking down the street as police sirens wail in the background. From there, the story takes us back in time to introduce our main characters, Lucy and Adrien, a married couple who have been trying to conceive for 2 years without success. Despite their continuous efforts, they face another disappointment when the pregnancy test shows negative once again. Determined to find a solution, Adrien decides to reach out to his friend, Dr. Hindle, who is renowned as one of the top 5 fertility specialists in the field. The couple visits Dr. Hindle's Women's Center, where they are warmly welcomed by Dawn, the receptionist. The staff at the center conducts a preliminary assessment on Lucy with great care, making her feel excited and hopeful about the possibility of finally becoming pregnant. After the assessment, Lucy meets with Dr. Hindle himself for a checkup. To her surprise, the doctor seems unfazed by her situation, which is a stark contrast to the couple's own feelings of frustration and despair. During this meeting, it is revealed that Adrien, now a surgeon, was once one of Dr. Hindle's most talented students in medical school. Before the end of the session, Dr. Hindle shares some exciting news. He has developed a fail-proof fertilization method that could be the answer to their prayers. The following day at work, Lucy receives more good news when her boss, Greg, informs her that she is being offered the position of marketing team leader, a role she has been aspiring to for a long time. With the potential for a successful pregnancy and a career advancement, it seems like everything in Lucy's life is falling into place. On the day of the insemination, Adrien provides a sample of his sperm, which will be used to fertilize Lucy's eggs. Dr. Hindle performs the procedure without any complications, leaving the couple feeling optimistic about their chances of starting a family. A few weeks later, while at work, Lucy experiences a sudden bout of morning sickness. She immediately goes to Dr. Hindle's clinic, where she receives the wonderful news that she is indeed pregnant. Overjoyed by the confirmation, Lucy and Adrien spend that very evening enthusiastically planning baby names. They decide that if they have a daughter, Lucy wants to name her Wendy, while if it's a son, Adrien prefers the name Adrien Jr. The next time Lucy goes to work, she finally shares the news of her pregnancy with Greg and her coworkers. They all congratulate her, but Greg starts objectifying her by suggesting they use her pregnancy as a pity card to attract more clients. In the following scene, Dr. Hindle performs an ultrasound, revealing that Lucy is carrying twin boys, which the couple is thrilled about. However, when Hindle shows them that there's also a female singlet, Lucy begins to panic. To make matters worse, Dr. Hindle informs Lucy that keeping all 3 babies might lead to birth complications. He suggests getting rid of the girl because the twin boys appear healthier, while the girl seems small. Everyone leaves the room to give Lucy time to decide. That evening, Lucy and Adrien celebrate the successful pregnancy over dinner. Adrien proposes keeping the 2 boys, but Lucy objects, arguing that caring for 2 babies simultaneously would be overwhelming. Adrien suggests Lucy quit her job, which offends her because she has worked hard to build her career. Instead, she wants to keep the girl. Later that night, while Lucy sleeps, Adrien is seen on his laptop, seemingly up to something. The next morning, Adrien apologizes to Lucy and agrees to keep the girl. He suggests Lucy join a pregnant moms group, which she does. There, she meets other expecting mothers, some of whom have faced similar complications. When Lucy mentions Dr. Hindle, the other moms are impressed, as the clinic is highly popular with a long waiting list. They're even more amazed to learn that Lucy didn't have to wait because Adrien was Dr. Hindle's student. As Lucy waits for Dr. Hindle to prepare for the abortion, she nervously stares at a magazine featuring a midwife named Grace Singleton. During the procedure, Lucy looks deeply conflicted, and suddenly, the scene turns red. She falls unconscious but hears bits of a strange conversation between Dr. Hindle and Adrien, in which Adrien seems to want to ensure Lucy is completely unconscious and appears to be hiding something from her. In her dream, Lucy sees herself accompanying her future daughter Wendy in the park, but when she approaches the child, her face turns demonic. After the procedure, Lucy wakes up, and Dr. Hindle assures her that everything will be fine. On their way home, Lucy mentions overhearing the weird conversation between Adrien and Hindle, but Adrien dismisses it as a dream. That night, Lucy experiences heavy bleeding, causing the couple to rush to the clinic. Dr. Hindle assures them everything is fine and advises against relying on Google. As time passes, Lucy becomes increasingly fascinated with Grace Singleton, the midwife from the magazine, even taking the magazine home with her. As time goes by, Lucy enters her third trimester of pregnancy. It's now time for her to deliver the pitch meeting that could potentially lead to a major breakthrough in her career. After the meeting, her coworkers express their satisfaction with her performance, indicating that she aced it. The couple then attends an award event for Dr. Hindle, where Adrien delivers a speech to honor him. Following Adrien's speech, Dr. Hindle gives his acceptance speech, which comes across as slightly odd. He mentions how much he loves his job because he will always be a part of a child's birth. One night, Lucy lies awake in bed, watching videos of Grace Singleton, the midwife, when she suddenly feels strong kicks in her belly and notices it moving. She hears a noise coming from outside the bedroom and decides to investigate. Lucy ends up in Adrien's office, where she notices blood dripping from his desk drawer. Inside, she finds a safe and is about to open it when Adrien appears and escorts her back to bed. In the next scene, Lucy meets with one of her friends from her mommy group, Corgan. She attempts to share her paranoia and the strange things she's been seeing. Lucy is convinced that Dr. Hindle has done something to the fetus without her consent and that her husband Adrien is involved. She now distrusts the doctor and wants a midwife to deliver her baby instead. However, Corgan dismisses her concerns, attributing them to her mommy brain. Not wanting to argue, Lucy remains diplomatic and relents for the time being, but secretly, she remains intrigued by the midwife. She spends the night watching a video on the midwife's website, feeling that her approach to pregnancy is very different from Dr. Hindle's and more in line with her own comfort level. While watching the video, Lucy even hallucinates about being in the same room as the midwife, reflecting her deep fascination. The next day, while Lucy is watching another one of the midwife's videos at work, Dawn, one of Dr. Hindle's nurses, shows up and demands that Lucy return the magazine she took from the clinic, as Dr. Hindle wants it back. Lucy explains that she's just borrowing it, and Dawn leaves her alone for the time being. During Lucy's next checkup with Dr. Hindle, the doctor feels around her stomach but doesn't use an ultrasound, which confuses Lucy. Nevertheless, she brushes it off and returns the magazine to the doctor, apologizing for taking it home. Dr. Hindle assures her it's fine and asks her to forgive Dawn, explaining that she was simply being a loyal nurse to the facility, which sounds unnecessarily intense and suspicious. One day at work, Lucy is summoned to Greg's office. Misfortune strikes as Greg expresses his concern that her advanced pregnancy might lead to her making mistakes, and he demotes her from her current leadership position. Infuriated, Lucy walks out and heads straight to Adrien's office, bringing him lunch and hoping to spend some time with him. However, Adrien looks at her with confusion, as she had apparently brought him lunch earlier. Worried about memory loss, the couple visits the clinic, where Dr. Hindle explains that Lucy might be suffering from prepartum depression. He prescribes her Xanax before sending her home. Overwhelmed by her fascination, Lucy finally decides to meet the midwife in person. She opens up about her mother's death and her hope to gain another female figure in her life through having a daughter. The midwife provides calming and affirming responses. In the next scene, Adrien is seen meeting up with Dawn at a hotel lobby and kissing her. During their brief interaction, she informs him that his room is ready, and he proceeds to go upstairs and enter it. Unknown to Adrien, Lucy is secretly watching him from inside a closet. Suddenly, Dr. Hindle appears in secret, revealing that Adrien is having an affair with him behind Lucy's back. However, it turns out to be nothing more than a bad dream. That same night, Lucy goes downstairs to check Adrien's desk and tries to open the safe. Inside, she discovers a file detailing her pregnancy from the clinic, making it clear that she's being monitored. Even her visit to the midwife, Grace Singleton, is documented, complete with pictures. Lucy takes the files with her and goes to see Corgan to share her findings. Corgan expresses her disbelief and asks for permission to show the files to her husband, who is a lawyer. Lucy appreciates the offer. Before they part, Corgan advises Lucy to act as if everything is normal in the meantime. The next morning, Lucy appears more cheerful and announces that she's quitting her job and no longer wants to see Dr. Hindle. Instead, she wants to see Grace Singleton, the midwife. Adrien objects, claiming that Hindle is a friend and he doesn't know what to tell him, but Lucy is determined and won't take no for an answer, so Adrien listens. Later, he informs Lucy that Hindle is mad and disappointed by her decision. During Lucy's baby shower at Corgan's house, Corgan gives her a first edition of Peter Pan, the book that her late mother used to read to her. Corgan then calls her Lucia, surprising Lucy and wondering how she knew her birth name. Corgan seems confused, so Lucy quickly leaves the room to avoid further awkwardness. In the bathroom, Lucy notices a bottle of pills prescribed by Dr. Hindle. Just then, Corgan comes to check on her, and Lucy confronts her about the pills, feeling betrayed that she would go to John after everything she's told her about him. Corgan admits that she talked to Adrien about Lucy's condition, and he got her an appointment with John after hearing about her own complications. It turns out that Corgan didn't ask her husband about the papers Lucy showed her but instead gave them back to Adrien, who clarified that he didn't have a safe on his desk. Corgan expresses deep concern for Lucy. After the argument, Lucy begins hyperventilating and then groans in pain. She is now in labor. Adrien rushes her to the midwife, who helps deliver a baby boy. Lucy then starts crowning again, indicating a second baby is coming, but there's a lot of blood, signaling complications with the birth. The midwife advises them to rush to the ER immediately. Unsurprisingly, Adrien takes her to Dr. Hindle, who successfully helps deliver the second baby. They decide to get rid of the baby girl, and Lucy starts to lose control as Adrien and Dr. Hindle secretly go against her wishes, choosing to sacrifice the girl instead of the twin boys. When they return home, Adrien tries to convince Lucy to just accept it and move on, saying they can make the best of what they have. Feeling lost, Lucy goes to see the midwife again, crying in her arms. She soon notices that the office looks different, as well as the midwife's outfit. But the midwife insists nothing has changed, making Lucy question if she was imagining things. Lucy asks the midwife for advice, and she tells her to just be better, but that doesn't really help. Lucy, determined to find answers, goes to the Women's Center and demands to speak with Dr. Hindle. Dawn, the nurse, refuses to let her in without an appointment, but when Lucy starts to speak about what happened during her labor, Dawn stops her in front of the other patients. She then leads Lucy to a private room and tells her to let go of it, reminding her that she now has 2 healthy babies and a more successful husband. Lucy is shocked to learn that Adrien is working with John, something she didn't know about. After Dawn leaves, Lucy sneaks into the clinic's lab, where she finds a discarded fetus, likely her unborn daughter. Dr. Hindle enters and reveals that the sperm used to get her pregnant wasn't Adrien's, but his own, because he believes his genes are superior and that the world would be better with more of his DNA. He chose the twin boys because they have a better chance of passing on his genes. As he speaks, he takes a sedative and tries to move closer to Lucy to sedate her. Lucy, now furious, snaps. She grabs a mirror and smashes it into Hindle's face, then ties him to a medical chair. Just then, Dawn walks in, and they start fighting. Lucy jams a medical tube down Dawn's throat, but Dawn pulls it out and attacks Lucy again. Luckily, Lucy manages to knock Dawn out. She then repeatedly attacks Dr. Hindle before knocking over a fridge filled with his semen. Covered in blood, Lucy walks out of the clinic and heads home, where she takes her baby boys into her arms and throws them out the window. However, in her delusional state, instead of falling, she imagines the babies floating like Peter Pan's lost boys. Later, Adrien comes home and finds Lucy still covered in blood, standing beside the cradle. She hands him the two babies, revealing that the earlier scene was just a product of her imagination. Lucy then kicks Adrien out of the house. Once she's alone, she sits down and tries to get her unborn daughter's fetus to lactate. As she does, she begins to hallucinate again, imagining the fetus suckling, and this is where the movie ends.